Welcome to Gangsters in Government, and I'm your host, Ali A. Parker. Now on this channel, we explore the ruthless nature of some of the most famous politicians. Some see these politicians as innocent, but in reality, they're really wolves in sheep's clothing. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the first episode of Gangsters in Government. Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States of America. And as of this time of this recording, he is 74 years old. He was born and raised in New York. He was born into wealth. His father, Fred Trump, was one of the city's biggest real estate developers. So because of his father's success, Trump inherited $413 million, according to reports made by the New York Times. Trump used those resources and also connections to follow in his father's footsteps, and he became a real estate developer himself. Trump's first major deal was the Grand Hyatt Hotel in Manhattan. But what he's probably known the most for is Trump Tower. Trump Tower is a high-end luxury building with multi-million-dollar luxury apartments with tenants like the late Michael Jackson, Bruce Willis, and Trump himself. Trump has a 3-story penthouse at the very top. And Trump enjoys the finer things in life. His penthouse is draped in gold. Back in the 1980s, Trump hired a lawyer by the name of Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn was known to be ruthless. And with his ties to the underworld and the mafia, he had lots of connections. He was a lawyer to the bosses of all 5 families, specifically to Paul Castellano, John Gotti, Carmine, and more. Trump used Roy Cohn to threaten people and help them with connections in the concrete business. You see, back in these days, the concrete business was controlled by the mafia, and Trump needed this concrete to build Trump Tower. Trump and his associates allegedly hired illegals for labor. But when it was time to pay the illegals, they shorted them on their cash. People also claim that Trump used cheap materials in the luxury apartments that cost tenants millions of dollars to live in. But regardless, people still pay top dollar to live in the building. Trump is a shrewd businessman and also a master salesman. Trump's net worth is estimated by Forbes to be around $3 billion. But according to Trump, that is, it's around $10 billion. When Trump decided to run for president, a lot of issues from his past began to be brought up in the media, like past relationships, his 2 ex-wives, and also his current wife, Melania. He was accused of mistreating women, and also the infamous recording of him saying, "Just grab them by the you-know-what." Some would say in his youth he was a ladies' man, and he even owned the Miss America pageant from 1996 to 2015. So he was no stranger to the appreciation of beautiful women. His current wife, Melania, is also a supermodel. Donald Trump has had his fair share of public feuds with people like Barack Obama, Rosie O'Donnell, and countless others. Both Democrats and Republicans hated him. But not all Republicans, because some used him for his salesmanship and sales ability. Trump was known to insult and berate his enemies publicly. While running for president, at his campaign rallies, protesters would continuously interrupt his speeches, and he would encourage the crowd to be hostile with the protesters. People were often beat up and thrown out. Trump even stated he would pay the legal fees of a man charged with hitting a protester in the face. He also encouraged the police and security at the venues to be more forceful. After Trump was elected president, his public feuding only increased. With enemies on all sides, he would publicly insult government officials and also presidents of other countries. He developed a cult-like following from people of all walks of life. They had a nickname. It was MAGA. He gained support from white supremacists, militias, motorcycle gangs, and more, which gave him a small army outside of the regular army he was commander-in-chief of. From Donald's first day of being president, he was attacked relentlessly by Democrats, and he was also impeached and accused of being in bed with the Russians. Then, in 2019, Trump lost the presidential election for a second term to Joe Biden. Trump claimed the elections were rigged and refused to accept Joe Biden as the winner. When asked to concede, he refused. When asked if he would attend the inauguration, he said he wouldn't. Then Trump and his Vice President Pence had a falling out. Trump wanted Pence to challenge the vote, but Pence refused. Trump said that Pence wasn't strong enough to do the right thing. Then on January 6, 2021, Trump gave a speech a couple of miles from the Capitol in Washington, D.C., in front of some angry MAGA supporters. They felt the election had been stolen too. Trump encouraged them to march down to the Capitol. And when they did, the mob got out of control and they stormed the Capitol with Congress and Vice President Pence inside. Some of the police on duty that day to protect the Capitol seemed to be in cahoots with the protesters, and they moved barricades and allowed protesters to storm the Capitol. They broke windows, damaged property, and got inside of key figures' offices and stole computers and mail. One of the offices they got into was one of Trump's greatest enemies, Nancy Pelosi. One rioter posed inside of her office with his feet up on her desk. Congressmen and representatives feared for their lives and hid under desks during the riots. Protesters also chanted, "Hang Pence," and Pence is a traitor. Some say this was an attempted coup to take power by force. When all was said and done, 5 people lost their lives that day. And all of this was just 2 weeks before Trump was set to be out of office. As of now, Trump was banned by most of the large social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and more. Their reason for doing this, they say, is so he can no longer incite violence. But as of now, Trump still remains defiant.